again. Back on our grind, you know what it is. Yeah, this is our.
Okay.
Yeah, knock us down once, we got up again. Put in the work, so I know we gon' win. This is for real, we never pretend. We gotta win.
I'm not slipping in, not slipping in, just wanna win. Oh, people that help me, I just can't.
You're now in the Sports Web, a sports talk show for the hardcore fan. Bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television live here nightly on Bucs Report. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, It's Sports Mag, getting you ready for the Lions versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the Bucs try to continue this winning streak at 3 games, hopefully at 4.
Absolutely. And again, we're talking about a Lions team that has lost 6 in a row. In every way manageable. The Lions have played just well enough to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been in every game. It's a crying shame to watch what happened to them when Matthew Stafford went down. But Peter, the first key to victory for the Bucs that I got,
4 keys.
Stop the run.
Okay.
Bottom line. And again, I asked Bruce Arians last week at the press conference. I said, Coach, is it nice to know that your team will stop the run every week? He goes, that's what we're built on. Stop the run. Run the ball.
And they may be helped out by Bo Scarborough basically dealing with a rib injury. If you don't know who he is,
he's on the inactive
list. So there you go. Bo Scarborough will not play in this game. So the Lions already coming into this game have injuries to Marvin Jones Jr., to 2 of their offensive linemen. So really, you're looking at the advantage with the Buccaneers at this point. You know,
it may have changed, Peter, with the inactives. Donovan Smith's inactive too.
Well, there you go.
Boy, and I tell you what, if you look at last week, you know, everybody bitches and moans about Donovan Smith, but he's had 76 straight games at left tackle.
Right.
When he went out for a play last week, guess what happened? Winston got sacked.
So we're going to have to watch that today. Donovan Smith.
Look for a lot of quick 3-step drop throws just to make sure that we can get that guy covered.
And it looks like Alex Kappa is also going to miss this game. So Alex Kappa, Donovan Smith coming in, and then the Lions offensive line with their injuries to their offensive line, and Joe Dahl.
It's the JV playing on the line today.
It really is on both sides of the ball. So the Lions coming into this game 3-9-1, as you've said. Matt Staffordless here. They're not going to have their starting quarterback. They're going to go with David Blau, his 3rd start. What do you see from Blau? Because he was impressive versus the Bears on Thanksgiving, but he's kind of come back down to earth. Only 1 touchdown last week, 2 interceptions. This could be a matchup where the Bucs can get some turnovers in this game.
Let me go to my 3rd point.
Yes.
Get the lead.
Okay.
You let Blau get the lead, it'll be a whole different animal as to opposed to making the Lions chase you.
Mhm.
We've seen the Bucs come back. We know they can do that. But novel thought here, guys. Get the lead.
Yeah.
Make them chase you. Stop the run. Get the lead.
We'll get the lead, and of course, the Bucs were down in the game versus the Colts. They took the lead with Jameis Winston in his performance. 5 touchdowns total, 4 throwing with a fractured thumb.
He had 6 touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns. One
Right.
went the other way.
Right.
But you know what? I put this in my. I'm predicting 31-13 Bucs,
Okay.
and I'm predicting that Winston's going to throw for 3 or 4 more, and 1 for the other team. I
Sure.
can live with that.
Sure.
I mean, okay, let's do the math, ladies and gentlemen. If he goes, let's say 3 for 1, 21-7, that's a plus 14. Live with it.
Absolutely live with it, and hopefully he can cut down on those turnovers. But speaking of this matchup with the Lions, Coach Arians had something to say about this defense, which in a lot of categories is not ranked very high. But Coach Arians has other thoughts here on the Sports Web. Let's listen to what he said at Wednesday's press conference. Here we go.
No, not really. I think it's just I like to get started fast, whether it's taking a shot down the field or moving the ball past the sticks. I think team just getting a bid on like he's going to take chances early, so we're going to drop deep and try to take our shot.
Well, that was not Coach Arians. That was Jameis Winston about his slow starts, and they were asking him about basically, and he was saying, I'm aggressive. I want to go down the field. I want to take shots. I want to do this, and I want to do that. And the reporter asked him, basically, are they game planning for you to a certain degree? And he said, no, he's just trying to fit it into those small windows, and it's not working out for him.
Well, and my 4th key to victory is be aggressive.
Yes.
Continue to be aggressive.
Right.
Keep the pedal to the metal. Keep getting the pass rush. Special teams, make plays when you can. But here's the problem now with Donovan Smith out. One of the things that I think Jameis Winston does not do a good job of yet is manipulating the defense with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got to throw it quick, he's not going to have that opportunity. He's going to have to lock on right away and throw. So that's going to – teams are going to play zone underneath, which a lot of teams do because they know the Bucs are going to have to throw it. So, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out.
Right.
No left tackle, blind side. They're going to come, and they're going to come hard, so he's got to get the ball out. So it's got to be catch, read, and he's not going to have a chance to go to his second. It's going to be hit him or tuba, and that's fine. Just do that.
So he has to manipulate with his eyes more the safeties and the defensive players.
And
he's not doing that.
And he may not have a chance to do that because they're going to be doing a lot of 3-step drops.
All right, let's go out to Coach Arians here, live on Bucs Report on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go.
It's sometimes statistics lie. Darius Slay, they've dropped a couple. Darius Slay's he's a ball hawk, and he's going to be jumping routes like he always has. And they've got a heck of a pass rush. Trey Flowers is one of the best there is. So I mean, they're a 2-gap team, so it's a little bit different until they get to nickel and start blitzing.
So he says 2-gap team. Explain that.
What they're talking about is they are playing up front 2 gaps.
Mm-hmm.
One lineman has A and B, one lineman has C and D. But again, go to your mind here, folks. Center, guard, tackle, tight end. Between center and guard, A gap. Between guard and tackle, B gap. Tackle and tight end, C gap. Outside tight end, D gap. He talks about 2 gaps. The Tampa 2 was a 1-gap defense, except one guy played 2 gaps. Generally, it was 55.
Right.
Okay? 2 gaps mean that they're trying to cover 2 gaps with 2 defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if they can do that, what that does is their 2 occupies 4. Let's do the simple math here. Okay, 4 guys are down. 1 guy's got the ball. That's 5. That means 6 are trying to block 9.
Right. 6 are trying to block 9.
Usually win a lot of games. By the way, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Was it 20 degrees this week in Tampa? I mean, I look over there and I see Arians looking like Nanook of the North.
Yeah,
What the
I don't
heck
know
was
what's going on.
there?
I have no idea what's going on, but what you're watching right now is the Sports Web live on Bucs Report, live at Ferg, 1320 Central Avenue in St. Pete. Whether we want to watch the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Tampa Bay Rays, or, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, home of Bucs Report and the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, and he's talking about the Lions. You have Darius Slay. I think only has like 2 interceptions this year. They also have another young kid out of Tampa who's playing the other side, in Amani Osamari. I think I got his name right, from Gaither. So there may be a matchup there with Chris Godwin, who, of course, this Bucs offense is going to be missing Mike Evans, who's out for the game. Talk about the impact of Evans being out of this offense and what Godwin and the other wide receivers have to do to step up.
It's my 4th key to the game.
Okay.
We've got stop the run. Okay. Get the lead. Be aggressive, and don't make 13 an excuse.
Right.
If there's one position where the Bucs can afford to lose a player, it's at wide receiver.
Right.
Godwin's having a career year. Perryman's starting to get it. And by the way, folks, if they still need something to happen, those twin tower tight ends of O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate, it's still a very good situation. Don't make 13 an excuse.
Don't make 13 an excuse. And you look at number 17 last week in Justin Watson catching his first NFL touchdown. And
did he call for a fair catch in the end zone on that one?
I'm telling you, right?
I'm going
wide open,
yeah.
And you think the ball is underthrown, but I think Winston's basically trying to put some touch on it. Got it right there, just got it. So good for him, and he's kind of been the disappearing man. A lot was expected out of Watson coming into this offense. Really hasn't shown much, but he's playing different positions. He was playing the X position. Evans, when he was out of the game, of course, after the bomb where he went out with the hamstring. So talk about Watson and his impact on this offense.
Well, again, he's going to be the third wideout. And the nice thing about the Buccaneers is they've got 3 quality wideouts because Perryman's starting to step up.
Sure.
He's starting to figure it out. I mean, Evans and Godwin, I mean, they're 1-2. I don't think there's a better 1-2 combination in the league.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Sure.
And Godwin has just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think the Bucs wanted to try to get Scotty Miller some touches there on offense.
Sure.
And they kind of moved him a little bit ahead of Watson. But again, once you get hurt, you can't make the club in the tub.
No,
and that's a problem.
You definitely can't. And one problem that may be for the Bucs defense today, Kenny Golladay coming into this game, 53 for 1,008, 10 touchdowns. So you're already missing Marvin Jones Jr., but Golladay could be a problem. Big, physical, wide receiver who has definitely helped this
leads the league in yardage.
But the question is, can Blau get him the ball with this pressure? Of course, talking about Shaq Barrett, let's talk about Golladay and what kind of matchup problems you think he presents for the secondary going forward.
Well, I think you'll see a lot of zone.
Okay.
Simply because they want to try to get pressure on the quarterback. And let's keep everything in front of you. I don't think they need to blitz as much as they did in the past.
Right.
And again, 93 is coming back to Detroit. And I think for some reason, some of the media people, especially the morning guys, think that, Sue has done a terrible job. Sue has done exactly what the Buccaneers have wanted him to do.
Right.
It's a nasty presence, eat up runs.
Absolutely.
And eat up blocks on the pass.
Sure.
He's not going to get sacks, but he's going to let other people get sacks. And you look at Vita Vea and you look at Sue, they're occupying 3 to 4 guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaq Barrett coming into this game, there was a stat correction where now he has 15 and a half sacks. So he's only 1 sack away from tying Warren Sapp's record and 2 sacks away.
Hey, do you think Blau will fall down like Favre did for Michael Strahan? I mean,
I think a lot of quarterbacks are falling down, and it's because of what you talked about in the middle with the Vea, with the Sue coming back and homecoming. We know what he did against the Rams, so he's definitely going to be pumped up as always. But that middle definitely opens it up for Barrett, who's having a career year, and of course JPP and Carl Nassib.
Yeah, and what you're looking at again. You want to get your defensive tackles to put color in the face of the quarterback. You want to try to collapse the pocket and make them go outside. Well, guess what? JPP, Carl Nassib, and Shaq Barrett know that's coming.
Right.
So they're taking an outside charge and playing the outside shoulder of the quarterback. So when he comes his way, he's a step and a half deeper than the quarterback going, okay, there's one way you can go. Upfield, and now I can make a tackle, and I got a great angle to do it.
Absolutely, and what you're watching right now is the evolution of Sports Talk Television live here from Ferg's. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions at Sports Mag, Mr. Leo Haggerty. So we're running down here. I know it's a short pregame, but some things didn't necessarily work out to what we wanted. So go ahead and give me another key to this game at this point.
Well, turnovers.
Okay.
Again, don't leave the ball on the ground. And the best line Bruce Arians had this week was he had, are you going to miss Mike Evans? He goes, all our guys got to do is be themselves and catch the damn ball when they throw it to them.
That's it.
Bottom line. I mean, it's not the matter of next man up. It's the guys who have already been in the game now playing a little bit more than normal. But
sure.
Are they going to miss Evans? Yeah. I think Detroit misses Stafford more than the Bucs will miss Evans.
Absolutely. And again, you have those weapons that have to step up. So it's going to be interesting today to see, even with the injuries, once again, Joe Dahl out for the Lions, of course, Marvin Jones Jr., and you have Rick Wagner. So you have Terrell Cosby. I don't know who that is. And then you also have Kenny Wiggins. So both players at this, I think it's Crosby, not Cosby.
And you know
both
what?
of those players are trying to fill in for a line that hasn't been good in the first place. So,
and you know what, Peter? Don't think that these guys may not have that game.
Mhm.
If you watch Monday night, and I'm an Eagles fan, you cut me, I bleed cheesesteak. I'm going, who is Boston Scott? I have no earthly idea who this guy is.
Right.
He was an incarnation of Darren Sproles. He was like 5'3", about 190 pounds. He couldn't tackle.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're throwing passes to Gary Ward. You know who Gary Ward is?
No idea.
He's the former quarterback
for
at Houston.
Okay.
He's playing
Now I know.
wideout.
Now.
And you look at the game, and 17 goes down. That hurt. They have Jackson out, and they still won the game.
Yeah.
So, again, you just got to be able to play with what you got and be smart enough to do the right thing. Look for the Bucs offense, Leftwich, to, again, get that ball out quick early, because with that left tackle, you don't have Donovan Smith there. And everybody complains about Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
But he shows up every week, and he does a credible job at pass protection.
I want to get this guy in here really quick. His name is Kevin Benjamin. He'll be joining us. Go ahead, sit down there. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Hey,
there
guys.
you go. How you doing?
Good.
All right. And introduce yourself. Welcome to Bucs Report, by the way. How you doing?
Hey, nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you, too.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Go ahead, get that mic close there for
Let me
you.
get these.
Yes. Yes, and he's got some books here that he's giving out, signed editions. And let's go ahead and take a look. And go ahead.
There you go.
All right, so it is the Stigma of Sports in Florida. Go ahead and put those headphones on right there.
All right.
And there you go, talking that mic. There you
All
go. And it's the Stigma of Sports in Florida, the definite guide to America's irrational hatred of sports teams, players, and coaches in the Sunshine State. Go ahead and explain this book. It's pretty self-explanatory, right?
It is. Everybody hates us.
Right.
And I just, in 30 years covering the Bucs and the Dolphins and the Jags and the Gators and everybody else, I just got sick of hearing it. So I wrote it down and kind of ranked a little bit team-wise who I thought would be like the most hated team, which is
the Bucs in the state of Florida, or is it the Rays? I hate the Rays ownership, but I don't hate the Rays as a team. Is it the Bucs that are most hated?
I think they're hated more. I think people hate the Rays because of the fact that they are so against the grain. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's nothing we can do about it except appreciate it if we live here.
Right.
I was fortunate to have gone to the opening day for both the Marlins and the Rays.
Right.
And it was just phenomenal. So I'm not trading that for anything.
All right, you wrote an article about Jameis Winston. Of course, you've covered the Bucs for years. WWSB and Sarasota as a sideline reporter. Great package having to do with Warrick Dunn and being on the sidelines. Talk about Jameis Winston. There's a lot of hatred for him. Why do you think that is? It's just a turnover situation?
Well,
is it off the field, or is it a combination of both?
I think it all starts at Florida State. It all starts at Florida State because, he did stupid things like Peter Warrick. Who went into a department store and bought a few $100s worth of clothes for like $20. He knew the girl at the sales clerk.
Sure.
We all know that there's freebies. Okay. but you can't be that blatant to walk into a Publix and just walk out. And I think coupled with some of the other issues with girlfriends, so to speak,
Right.
we'll just leave it there. I think that there was a bad taste in the mouth at the beginning, whether to pick him or Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people out there that like Marcus Mariota, but he's got his own quarterback situation. So we're running down here. I hate to be quick about this, but
Go ahead. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, let's definitely talk about it in the post-game show. We'll have all you guys on. You gave your prediction 31-13. Give me your prediction for Bucs versus Lions today.
I think it's going to be a blowout, like 42-7.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, Bucs. I think they're just going to go to town. I don't think that we'll miss. They'll miss
Mike Evans
as much
Right.
as people hopefully think.
Right.
That we won't miss him, but we got so many weapons on offense. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Bucs coming in since 2011, 0-16 in games, weeks 14 and 15. They get off the snide today as they defeat the Detroit Lions 31-17. It doesn't matter what weapons they have. Jameis Winston will spread it around. That defense will eat as always. And Shaq Barrett, I think, is going to pass Warren Sapp today. So there you go. That's your prediction of the day. Live here on the Sports Web, live from Ferg's, 1320 Central Avenue and St. Pete. For the great Leo Haggerty, for Kevin Benjamin, I'm your host, Peter Blake. Enjoy the game.
Absolutely.
I love Plant City.
You're now in the Sports Web, a sports talk show for the hardcore fan. Bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense.
At Life's a Beach Realty, we're all about life on the beach. Stunning Panama City Beach and one of the most beautiful properties on the Gulf Coast, Shores of Panama. Radiant, elegant, and spectacular. Steps away from white sugar sand, every room overlooks the turquoise of the Gulf of Mexico. Come in for your tour today. Life's a Beach Realty is your gateway to Shores of Panama, the shores, and a whole lot more.
Here's a sobering reminder. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death for men and women. No wonder staying heart healthy is so very important these days. And we're learning that a few healthy choices can help prevent heart disease. Enter the inventor of Gatorade, Dr. J. Robert Cade. No secret what Cade and Gatorade did for thirst and performance. And Dr. Cade's Cholesterade is so much more than a thirst quencher. Cholesterade is a refreshing, high-fiber natural drink that could dramatically lower cholesterol and reduce the risk of heart disease. In fact, Cholesterade has twice the fiber of any other product on the market today. Independent studies show that 2 daily servings of Cholesterade can stunningly lower bad cholesterol by up to 20%. Dr. Cade knew firsthand the troubles of high cholesterol and adverse side effects of cholesterol-lowering prescription medications, also known as statins. Dr. Cade knew that a daily increase in fiber could lower the levels of cholesterol, so Dr. Cade invented Cholesterade as much for himself as anybody. Cholesterade is a powder that is mixed with water or juice. Cholesterade is all natural, no preservatives, gluten-free, and probiotic with natural flavors. Studies have shown lower cholesterol numbers without the use of prescription medication. Cholesterade helps all people looking to add fiber to their diet. Cholesterade, combined with a healthy diet and exercise, can help you get your cholesterol under control. Entertainer Rod Adams personally knows the benefits of cholesterol.
Hey, my name is Ron Adams. You may know me as an entertainer from maybe one of my shows, like my Elvis show. But I'm also a 55-year-old guy that needs to stay in shape. I realized that my cholesterol was getting way out of hand. I went to the doctor and he said, you need to do something. But there wasn't anything to do other than maybe get on a statin, which I already knew was dangerous. And then I found out about cholesterol. Started taking it 3 times a day. 8 weeks later, my cholesterol dropped dramatically from over 300 to under 200. The good cholesterol went from
21%. Triglycerides dropped by some 50%. And good cholesterol improved by nearly 13%. Cholesterol supports digestive health. It has 3 great tasting flavors and has become the future in the fight for lowering bad cholesterol. You can find Cholesterol by ordering at www.cholesterol.com. You can find it on Amazon and at major retailers nationwide.